In this video, I want to show you Mermaid Chart, which is a custom GPT that's available in the GPT store. You can go here and you can make these really cool charts. I'm going to walk through how to use it with you. We're going to talk about some of the ways that it can be used. I have some examples here. So the first one that we'll do is, let's say that you are developing an e-commerce workflow, or you're developing some sort of software and you want to have some sort of like requirements gathering process to figure out what you're doing for your overall development and deployment and testing of what you're developing. So that would be something that you want to develop out a process for. So one of these cool things you could do here is say, hey, give me a chart that does exactly this. So I'm going to say, okay, cool. Always allow or allow. That's up to you. Then it's going to make a flow chart that does exactly that. And so it's going to make this little code here, but then it's going to make a diagram that we can actually gather as a JPEG. So here's how this works. It's worth kind of dabbling in this itself to learn a little bit about how this works. But once this generates, you'll see a chart like this. So you have the section for the first step, second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step, and so on. And so from here, you could go hop over to Mermaid, and in here, you'd have to log in to then work with this. But if you wanted to just open this image in a new tab, save it, you could take this exact thing and keep it as part of your documentation or your guide to explain a process to somebody. So that's kind of the appeal of something like this. So we'll go and I'll show you in another example here. So like, let's say that you're going to try to do some sort of idea generation. You're going to do some research, edit, and then publish something. So that could be another process that we could show here too. So just kind of walking through a couple of use cases for this. We'll see what this generates. What's really neat about these is you don't have to actually build the chart. And if you have a Mermaid account, obviously you could hop right into working on this. So here, same type of chart, idea generation, research, drafting, editing. So anything that has to do with like a workflow or a project, anything of that sort, this is a really awesome tool for cutting down work that you have to do and just letting ChatGPT do it, because it'll go through, and if you describe a process and you say, hey, you know, I need to do X, Y, and Z. I could even go in here and say something like, I need a diagram to explain how to organize and declutter my house room by room. Make me one. So this is just, hey, how do I even tackle the process of doing something that's not a business task? Just cleaning my house. How do I actually accomplish something like that? You know, can you make me a mind map to kind of conceptualize the idea of how I get after that process? I know that that's something that, you know, it's kind of a funny example, but genuinely anything like this could be a candidate for this tool. Okay, so it's pushing out the code. Sometimes you'll see ChatGPT freak out a little bit. Don't worry about that. Just whenever it finishes, if it doesn't give you the output you want, you'll see this little button that has like two circles feeding each other right here. And you'll be able to regenerate from there. But so, okay, here's what this output. So this is more of a mind map. We're going to open this just so we can see it a little bit bigger. So this is actually not quite what I was hoping for. But like I said, let's hit regenerate, and then we should see what we want. Obviously, once this prompt runs, we're going to get something different. So now I think it went back to break down more steps this time. So here's the Mermaid code. This looks a lot more similar to the first chart that we generated. So I think that it's going to look like that whenever it provides an output. Now, it's worth noting that what we just saw was a representation of other chart types that Mermaid can make. So we could say, hey, this chart type, or like this way you've built this diagram, this is not working for me. Can you make me another one? Or we could even declare like an explicit type, and then that could be something that we could use additionally. So cool. It's saying, here's your steps. Start with this room, start with this room. So if you ever needed, instructions for how to clean your house, same type of thing. Basically anything that has a flow to work, that is a process, you could generate and brainstorm and mind map these concepts right here with this tool. So I'll have a link below. Thanks so much